Hey guys, it's Nan. Hi, how are you? Our project for today, decorating a book cover, collaging it, and making this baby look beautiful. Easy. Choose a book cover. Any book cover you want. These are cloth covers. They have cloth on the top, but they're different sizes, and I have them ready on the inside, so all I have to do is choose whether I want to use decorative paper on the inside or not. This one most likely not, because I love how it looks on the inside, but those are two that I've prepared already and have them on the side. And I just want to show you two lovely ones that I've already worked on. This is one. It's white on the inside. It's going to stay white on the inside as far as I'm choosing to do at the moment. I may change that, I don't know. And this is one that I worked on yesterday. These are quick. It doesn't take you long to do it. Just take your time. Like I said, I feel collaging is one of the things that is most meditative, because you can sit there for hours and just glue, 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 and use whatever elements and whatever mediums that you want to create your book cover in the manner that you want to. I've already put cloth cover on it, and I did add some plain paper on the inside because I plan to put gorgeous, gorgeous elements in here, whether it's ephemera, pockets, whatever I choose as I go. I do have to work on the signatures, and that will be quick also. And the cloth, I had these in my stash, and both cloths are from Hobby Lobby. But this is the process that I'm going to take you through, how I work on my books. And then you, as you take your time creating your own book, just pick and choose. I guess you can choose your items beforehand, but it's simple. Those I created with a bunch of scrap. All kinds of scrap that I have, and I have so many bins with scraps, it's not funny. So I'm basically trying to use all that up, and I do have avocado dyed. I did have jello dyed paper, but I just didn't want my cover to be dark for the simple reason that I am going to add a book plate to it and some other stuff. So I did use Mod Podge on those. And whether you use a stick glue, be liberal. Whether you use your Elmer's glue, just make sure that you take some type of a brush and coat it evenly. Because even with the Mod Podge, as you place the papers down, based on how much you use, they do puff up a little bit. I'm not even worried about that. Once I give it that first light layer, because after I collage, I put a little light layer on it. Once it dries, you can just press with a brayer very gently over it, and it just needs a little help adhering a little better. And once you do that, and you could even turn the cover over on a table and place some heavy items on it, and that has worked for me also. So you can use them as much as the Mod Podge as you want to. I have a brush. I have some wipes, because this is really going to get messy for me. At least I think it will. It's not easy. Sounds funny at this age having to use wipes again, but they work. They help. And you can always wash your hands. Stop and wash your hands. So let's get this baby. Let's give it a facelift. What I did want to say was, I'm using mostly neutrals. You can use any type of decorative paper that you want. I have a bin here that I store a lot of my 12 by 12 decorated paper. So you can use the same process and then just use any type of paper you want. I'm not gonna, you do you, what you like. And as you're gluing, you'll find what papers you really want put together. These that I'm making now are going to have a hidden, how do I say it? I'm not going to sew through the cover, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to sew my signatures through the cover. They're going to be inside, and you won't see anything on the outside, because I'm planning to do something with the outside of the cover. And let me see if there's anything else on this beauty. I did use different types of mediums on here, and we'll just get started. So there is no reason or rhyme to this. Just cut and layer as you wish. Now you can go over the cloth here. That's okay, because this is, I'm going to put a piece of cloth on the spine. So then you just start wherever you want. And most of the time when I do use these papers, I use these edges on the actual edge of the book and here, and the torn pieces on the inside. At least I try very hard. As long as it's straight, I do that so that I'll have a nice clean cut on the edges of the book. So I'll do a few of these. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera. Let me see how many I can do here. I'll go off camera. I'll finish most of it and then come back so you can see the final results. But maybe I'll just do this front cover for you so you can get the gist of what I am doing. So I'll put this down, and even if there's a piece that doesn't have glue on the bottom, you just go back and add more glue there and bring it down. It's up to you if you want to do this to the edges now. You can, and you can just go over it lightly with the glue. And if the paper wrinkles, I love it. I know that doesn't bother me, because you will see the wrinkled part with what I'm going to do later. What I put on there is going to show more. It's gonna seep under the wrinkles, and it's just gonna pop out. It's gonna look real pretty. Okay, let's see what other paper I can use. I am going to use a piece of pink, and if the papers are already cut and slid and have the ridges, just keep adding. I don't put the glue all over. I know I showed you that with the Elmer's glue, but I do not do that because the glue will dry. I don't want that. And then you just keep layering your paper as you wish. There's no reason or rhyme to this. As far as to how you're going to decorate your cover, just keep looking for those beauty papers. You can even add writing to it. I mean, this is on a book about Iceland and the Arctic, but that's okay. You can also add that in there. It's not gonna matter, because you're gonna be doing other stuff to the top of this book, and it's all gonna look so very pretty. So just keep on going in this manner and fill your cover. Just fill it up. Big pieces, small pieces, any pieces that you want to add on there. I'm adding a piece of this. I said neutral and I added pink. Sorry. I was going to make it neutral, but I guess the pink is going to be part of it. Okay, here we go. I love glue, and I used to love working with it a lot, but this is very messy sometimes. Okay, and as you can see, my paper is wrinkling. I'll leave it is. Unless you're someone who just does not want those ridges and you need to get rid of them. Okay, here's another one. I'll split that one in half. And sometimes what I'll do with my book is, if I put one paper here, this design here, if I put this paper here, I'll add one here. If I put this one here, I'll add it here. You don't have to. I do that sometimes. I guess so that it makes sense, but it does not have to make sense at all. Just have fun creating your gorgeous cover. And it's going to look very, very pretty. My cover is dry. I did use my brayer to go over it, like I mentioned in the beginning, to bring down some of those tiny bubbles. And it works, and I do have wrinkling on some of the papers, and I'm one of those that I really like that. It gives it a more grungier look, but what I do is I like to use my Distress ink. And I had mentioned earlier that these creases, when you go over them with Distress ink, they become more defined. And I do like to add more Distress ink on top of this. And I've mentioned it many times in previous videos that I love I love grungy. Okay. And just use up all that paper that you have. And I will go on the corners of my book to give it more definition also. On the edge of the book. Sort of frames it. Makes it look really nice. I will do that on both sides. Okay, and like I said earlier, I'm not worried about this because this is going to be covered with a piece of cloth. So what I've done is I've chosen some stamps because I do want to stamp on this. I think I need just a little bit more on this side. And maybe in here. Love it. It looks more antiquated. So I've chosen stamps. And these I've all gotten on Amazon. And these are just some of my favorites. And I am going to do some stamping on this cover. And what I do with my stamps is I don't like when I stamp and I get the edge of the design on the paper. So what I do is I actually bend the stamp in this manner so that when I stamp down, I'm not getting that edge on there. And I can go about it in any fashion or any manner that I want to. And it works. I love it. Let's see. Very lightly sometimes, and it looks really nice. There goes one. I'm liking it so far. There we go. You can open it up a little bit more and you'll get more of the stamp. And you can go in both directions, up and down. I just think it looks really nice. Or roll it, and that works too, but then it tends to smear a little bit. And I think that will be enough of that one. I'm also going to add these numbers on there. And I could do them in different directions. There we go. That one I'm okay with the edge showing. Let's see here. Maybe I'll just go in this direction. And if it's just two numbers and it slightly shows the other two, I'm good with that also. I'm not going to do too much of that one. Let's see how this works out here. I don't want to overdo it with the stamps either. There we go. It's up to you how much or how little you want on your book. I don't want to overdo it. Okay, that's two. I think I may add a little bit of this here. Just slightly put them together. There we go. I'm not a professional at this, but I am liking all this mixed media stuff. And I'll add a little bit here. Just be very careful, since your book does have that matte finish on it, that you're not slipping and sliding everywhere with your stamp. And this one also. Now my fingers are black. Unfortunately, that's from not cleaning my stamps as I should. There we go. I don't want too much of this one either. Yeah, just a tiny bit here. And maybe a little bit up here. And there we go. And I do have some numbers here. I want to add a few numbers on there. On one of my books, I actually put 2023 on it. You can do that if you want to. You don't have to. I'm going to probably put a book plate on this. I'm not sure yet where I'm going to go with this. I can go maybe down with my numbers. 2, 0. Just identifies the book when I made the book. That's about it. The year I created it. And I'll add that 3 there. There we go. And then randomly just pick whatever numbers you want. and add them wherever you like. I mean, it's endless what you could do with this and how you want your book to look. And even if you are to place a lot underneath, depending on what you're going to go on top, which I will go on top with some other stuff. You can add stamps. You could add just about anything you want. Just beautifies it more. Let me add that one over here. And let's see. I'll add a 6 there. Okay, I think that's it for my stamping on there. Let me show you what I've done so far. I added several stamps. I've even added a price that came on a mailer. So I like to collect those little bits and pieces, and I will cut them out and add them to my covers. Beautifies it even a little more. You may get tired of hearing me say that word. And a UPC code, priority mail on there. So I'm just adding bits and pieces to my cover. And I did add a few pieces of, it's not coffee dye doily. What I did was I tinted them with the Distress ink. And this is what I have so far. And I'm going to go ahead. I have this stamp that I want to add to it. And I did add it to one of the other ones. But it is a ticket. And I'm going to add half on the top, half on the bottom. So what I'm doing here is, let's see if I can get this done. You could even do it at an angle. I'm going to add it there. Admit one. And then maybe do the other side over here. No, that's going to be covered. So as I turn it, maybe up here. There we go. I really like that a lot. And I will do the same on this side, but since this is the back, I can use the whole stamp and maybe do it right there. Yes, I do like that. I could do it at an angle down here. Let's see. Oh, I could do it right here. Perfect. And then maybe half of the stamp over here. Now, let's see here. Yes, right there. Maybe this one down here. Perfect. And then the final stamp would be this small one that says, and actually you'll see in a second what it says. And these are some stamps that I thrifted. It says, oops, it didn't come out, but that's okay. I'll find a place where it will show. It says, keep this ticket, free admission. And I think I'll just add one there and one over on this side right here. There we go. And that is going to be it for the cover. Have fun with yours. It doesn't have to be stamps that you add to it. You can add cut out flowers from a magazine, add some flowers, die cuts, use any stamps that you want. You can use colored stamps. I'm really satisfied with the way this one looks, and all I can say is have fun with yours, and we're not finished. I need to put a piece of cloth on the back part of my book on the spine. So let's get to it. I've chosen the cloth that I'd like to add to the outside and inside of the spine, and it is very thin cloth. So I'm not going to use that matte medium to put my cloth down because I've experienced that the glue seeps through the material. So what I do is I use my stick glue, and this one's extra strength. I have not had a problem whatsoever with this glue. And the one thing I love about it is that I use it and it does not seep through. And this is the Elmer's Craft Bond Extra Strength Glue Stick. You can find that on Amazon, at Walmart when they have it. Hobby Lobby usually has it. Every time I go there, I see it there, so I'll usually pick up one or two because I know that I don't want to run out of my glue. So you're going to position the material in the middle here, so you make sure you have enough on both sides to pair it evenly on the edges. If it's off by just a little bit, that's okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to softly pull it down just a tiny bit. And these edges here, I'm good with that. I love that look also. And then I'll stick my finger in the groove joint. Or if you have a, I forget what this is called. It's a bone folder. I'm not sure what it's called. I reach moments where I'm so busy I can't remember what I'm using. So your nail or your finger or a nail file, just thought of that. You can use a nail file carefully. Even a credit card, any type of a card. And just keep swirling to make sure you're getting those little places that you don't see any glue on. So that when you fold over, that's going to stay there. You don't have to press that hard. It's going to stick and it's going to look lovely. The background is neutral. I've added some bits and pieces of color, just a little bit. My cloth is a different color, but I love the fact that it has this writing on it, and it does go well with what I've created on the covers. Get into that groove really well. You don't want that popping back up. So just go into it in this manner. Take your stick glue and turn it sideways. Go on that edge. And then again, up and down, circular motion, so you make sure you're catching all those little places where the glue has not adhered at the moment, so that that material stays permanent. And then add here. And again, press into the groove first. And then press onto this part. Again, press inside. Like I said, I've not had any problem with this glue whatsoever. No seepage. It bonds very, very well. And there we go. There is my material on the spine. Let this dry really well overnight. And I did add that last coating of Mod Podge on all these little pieces that I added at the end. And I'm pretty satisfied with that. I think this is going to make a very lovely, lovely journal. Especially when I add all the goodies inside. I'm going to add coffee dyed paper, decorative paper, all the ephemera, other elements that are going to go inside. And just so you can see, I have finished the other side. And like I said, I'm not too worried about this sticking out, but if it's not even, then that really, that gets to me. So just cut that little excess off. And the good thing about this is you can grab the bottom and pull and tug, and you can add some more fraying to it even before you add it on there. And then pull on it a little bit and see. Add some more fraying, and that's going to look Really nice. On the top, I love it. I love that. I don't have an issue with any of that sticking out there. Excuse me. Perfect, perfect, perfect. You open it. I chose this paper simply because it did have a little pink in it, even though I said it was going to be all neutral color. I honestly don't know if that pink is considered neutral color. And that paper, this paper, is a pack that I thrifted a long time ago. Some Goodwills have these and some just don't. So this one I had to go pretty far out, and that's where I found this. Only $3.99. You can't beat that for 180 different pages. I'm not sure if it had all 180, but for $3.99, that is not bad. You got a lot of pretty paper there. Can be used for all different kinds of theme journals, or just add some of those papers in there, large and small, however you want to. And that is the inside. I'm going to let that dry before I do any other work. Now all I have to do is choose my signatures, papers that are going to go in there. And it is going to be 2. I don't want 1 because they get bulky, so I'm going to separate it in 2. I've learned. And I'm going to go over, for this size spine, I'd say roughly 15 papers. Yes, 15 papers, which will give me a month's worth of journaling in this book. And I'll turn it over one more time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little closer, and I'm going to pan it in front of the camera so you can get a look of some of the stuff that I did add in there. I 3 covers using the same process. This one measures 9.5 from top to bottom and 6.5 going this way. That one's just a little smaller, and this one's a bit smaller than that one. They are going to make some lovely junk journals. Cannot wait to start filling the inside. Have a good day. Thank you for joining me. Till next time. God bless.